Hello everyone, I guess hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, and today we are here with a Mage Training Arena guide for old school RuneScape in my endless adventure to make as many guides as possible. So hopefully you guys enjoy. If you do, make sure to leave a like, helps the video reach more people. On top of that, got plenty of links you can check me and my community out down below, would appreciate that as well. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the guide. So to start, as far as the requirements go, the first is a variety of different magic levels depending on how easy you want to make this for yourself. 33 would be the lowest I'd come here with at all, and I wouldn't even recommend it. 68 sort of a med level benchmark that's going to help you out a good bit. The reason it scales is because there's a room that bases the points off of what sort of enchantment spell you can use, so the higher level the better. Also, there's an Alchemist Room where you could use high alch or low alch, and the same thing applies there. So the higher level magic the better. Really, once you're into the 50s, 60s range, this is very easy. And then other than that, the only thing you need is a progress hat that you can obtain from the minigame itself, and I'll show you how to get that later. As far as the spells that are required, the first one is High Alch, which requires 55 magic. You could, again, use Low Alch if you'd like. That requires 21, however, it will make your progress a lot slower, so I wouldn't recommend it. On top of that, Telekinetic Grab is 33 magic, and then whichever enchanting spell you decide to use could be anywhere from level 7 to level 87. I wouldn't recommend the highest enchantment spell because that uses way too many runes, so it's just not worth it. And then beyond that, a Bones to Bananas that requires 15 magic, or a Bones to Peaches that requires 60, and the ability to be able to cast it. The ability to cast the spell can be purchased through the Mage Training Arena. So if you plan on doing Mage Training Arena for a while, I would recommend to unlock the Bones to Peaches first, and then from there do the rest, because it's going to aid your point accumulation in the future. Here we have all 8 items that you can purchase from the store. Ranges anywhere from 3 hours to about 12 hours per item, and collectively it is an absurd amount of time. It is not anything to be taken lightly. Bones to Peaches, which a lot of people will be here for the diary requirement, takes 5 hours or so to be able to do, so again, not anything to be taken lightly. Beyond that, Full Infinity is 35 hours collectively, and the Master Wand and the Mage's Book are both about 11 to 12 hours, so yeah, a lot of time's going to be needed here. As far as the runes, if you are more interested in that, we have all of them listed right there. It's an approximation. I rounded up what the true numbers are because you'd rather have too many runes than too few. It is a decent amount of runes overall though, so say you're an Iron Man, you're going to want to be prepared accordingly. As far as where we're going to need to get ourselves, the Mage Training Arena is located just to the north of the Duel Arena, or at least what is the Duel Arena for now. I'm not sure what's going to happen to this in the future. Time will tell. Best way to get here though is through the Ring of Dueling. From there, just go ahead and run northeast around this little fence line, and the Mage Training Arena will be up here to the north. I'll go more into what to bring for the inventory for each particular room, but right now I'm just showing you the inside. Once you get in here, then go ahead and talk to the entrance guardian. Once you go through the dialogue with him, you will receive a progress hat. If you have one already in your bank, you'll have to go obtain it again, and if you've previously lost it, it is fine. He will give you another. Upstairs is the reward shop. Over here, by talking to the rewards guardian, you can see what all items are available and how many points they require. Looking at the rewards here, as you can tell, most of the time the Telekinetic, Graveyard, and Alchemist rewards are all going to be about the same in terms of points, and then the enchantment points are about 10 times higher for most items, sort of a general rule of thumb. In addition to that, if you're going for the Master Wand, you cannot buy it by itself. You have to buy a beginner and then upgrade it to an apprentice, then a teacher, then a master, so you got to buy all 4 wands to be able to get to the Master Wand. Once you go back downstairs though, to the north are 4 different rooms you can go ahead and get into. There's the Telekinetic, the Alchemist, the Graveyard, and the Enchanters. That's the order that I'm going to be going through them because I think that is the worst to the best order, and I like to usually knock out the worst ones out of the way early, so let's go ahead and do that. Before we get into each of the rooms, I will say that RuneLight is a huge help here. You should definitely be playing on that anyways, but if you are, I would highly recommend it for this, especially if you're going to be here for a while, because it makes it a lot easier. I will show you how to do the rooms even if you don't have RuneLight. However, they're going to be much more painful, and I wouldn't recommend it at all. As far as the Telekinetic Grab room, all you're going to need is an Air Staff and Law runes. The premise of this room is that you are dragging a guardian across a maze, so you're telegrabbing him towards you, and you're going to pull him all the way around the maze until he reaches the end point. Every maze that you complete rewards you with 2 points, and for every 5th maze that you complete, you get 1000 magic XP plus an additional 8 points, which ultimately means each maze is giving you 3.6 points, not a ton, so that's why this takes so much time to do. So getting on into the Telegrab room, what I'm bringing here, I have a Ring of Dueling to be able to teleport here. Also with the room pouch, I have Natures and Laws. I'm bringing Laws for this room, and I'm bringing Natures for the Alchemist room, because I'm going to do that one next. I have 2 stamina potions to do a bit more running around the maze. maze, and in addition to that, I have an air staff that I'm going to use for the telegrabbing, and I also have a fire staff for the Alchemist Room. One thing I did forget to mention is that Graceful would be incredibly helpful whenever you do the Telekinetic Grab room. So heading on into the Telekinetic Grab room, let's go ahead and start it up. If you have the RuneLite plugin, it will show you exactly where you need to stand for each one, and typically it will throw you on one of these corner blocks. If you actually try to cast Telegrab on a corner to the Maze Guardian, it won't do anything at all, so you have to stand on a side. If you don't have the RuneLite plugin for some reason, these are the mazes that you have to do, so just find out which maze it is for you and then drag him around the room accordingly. If you do have the plugin, you're going to do much the same. Just go ahead and telegrab the Maze Guardian and then get going towards the other side. You'll know which side that the RuneLite plugin is trying to drag you, because if it puts you all the way over here, it wants you over here next. If it puts you right there, it wants you over there next. So that's basically the way to go about it. For example, if it's over here, you can telegrab him as soon as you get right here and it'll do the same exact thing. So while I'm running over there, I'll telegrab him as I'm running, just to go ahead and save a little bit of time, because now he'll be moving while I'm moving to the next location. Then I'll do it again over here. I'll get running to the north end of the room again. I'll telegrab him again. As I keep on running around, you can tell I just keep telegrabbing him closer to the middle of these walls rather than the ends. And then as he gets dragged down here, this is the final location that I will pull him to. And once he finishes on this tile, just go ahead and talk to him. You'll receive your 2 points and he will send you on to the next room. Once you complete 5 in a row, you'll get your bonus, but really it's as simple as that. There are a bunch of different patterns to this, but if you have the RuneLite plugin on, or if you have the other maps in front of you, it's very easy to be able to do, just a good bit of time required. So next up for the Alchemist Room, here you're going to need a Fire Staff and Nature Runes. You could also bring the Nature Rune Staff and a Tome of Fire if you were really that crazy. In this room, you'll have a designated GP value for each item in the room. The highest GP value is going to be the one that you want to focus on, and if you do, you'll be getting 30 GP per High Alch. You get 0.3 points per High Alch, which means that 100 GP is equal to 1 point. There's also a 12k GP cap that you can get in this room, and you also start to get warnings about that cap once you hit 10k. And finally, just make sure to deposit before you leave the room. You'd hate to put all that good work to waste. So heading on in here now, there are going to be 8 different locations, all with a question mark on them, because my RuneLite does not know where they are at. As you can tell right now, the Emerald is 30 GP worth, so you'd want to be going for that one. RuneLite is telling me to go ahead and just search one to see where we're at. If you don't see anything in your cover, you're going to want to go to the opposite side and go somewhere in the middle. From there, you'll get an item. As you can see, the ones close to it, I had no items on them, and that's just kind of the rotation of the room. So this Emerald spot, I would want to search and then start to High Alch. If you don't have the RuneLite plugin, here are all the different layouts of what this room could be like. So once you find out which item you've gotten in which location, you can find where the other ones are. But in this room, you don't need much of anything. Just go ahead and equip your Fire Staff. And then what I like to do is put a lot of my items down towards the bottom of my inventory. That way I am able to AFK a little bit easier in this room. So doing some examples here, this one is going to change relatively quickly. And that is a-okay with me. Getting 30 GP per High Alch. And as you can see, there it moves, and I only got 15 GP per High Alch. As you can tell though, you still get GP even if it's not 30 GP whenever you're High Alching these. So if you have an inventory with some extra items in there, it wouldn't hurt to High Alch them while you're running back and forth between these locations. What I like to do is go ahead and stock up all of the items until it gets to the point where it's covering the High Alch section in my Mage tab and inventory combined. Then I can just go ahead and keep on clicking without having to worry too much. You can't spam click though, because then you will try to wear these items, which is going to negate your AFK High Alching, I guess. You can't just spam click all the way through. You have to be somewhat concerned about that. You actually can spam click through emeralds though, so that is kind of nice. But really it is as simple as that. You just go around, and once you know which item is worth 30 GP, then you start to High Alch. And at the end of the day, while this can be a bit annoying, I guess it really depends on how you view High Alching. If you don't really mind it that bad and you think it's kind of relaxing, then this room actually isn't too bad. It's much less click intensive than many of the other rooms are, so you do have that on your side. But once you hit your max GP, or you get an amount that you feel comfortable with, just go ahead and head to the north and deposit it into the coin collector. As you can see from there, I was able to get 5 Alchemist points, and on top of that, 1.1k magic XP, which is actually a very good reward for the time that I was here. In the High Alchemy room, really is just as simple as that. So next we are on to the Graveyard Room. For this room, you're going to need a Mud Battle Staff. However, you don't need that. You could just bring a Water Battle Staff with Earth Runes, or the opposite holds true as well, along with Nature Runes The premise of this room is that each bone has a different number of fruit that it will yield you, ranging between 1 and 4, and you're going to have to cast a Bones to Bananas or Bones to Peaches spell on it to then turn it into fruit. Each 16 fruit that you turn in equal 1 point. It is best to unlock Bones to Peaches as soon as possible because in this room you will be getting dealt damage the entire time, and Peaches heal a lot more than Bananas. Peaches heal 8 compared to the Bananas 2, so really it is just a miles difference. For the inventory here, I have a rune pouch with nature runes in it. In addition to that, I also have a hit points cape that I'm going to throw on and a region bracelet. These are optional pieces that you don't have to bring if you don't want to. I wouldn't recommend keeping the graceful left over in your inventory, but it really doesn't matter too much, so I'm just going to show the example with it. And then I also have prayer potions. You can decide however you want to go about your food here, but a very good method to have stackable food is just to throw on the redemption prayer. Once your HP gets below 10% of your actual hit points, then it will heal you a good boost up. That also depends on your HP as well, so it will vary per player, but essentially you have 4 different heals within each of these potions, so I have 16 heals overall. Should do me pretty well, especially when I have the hit points cape and a region bracelet. I'm really not going to be affected. If you don't want to bring prayer potions, you could certainly bring regular food. I'd recommend if you are doing Bones to Bananas to actually bring regular food because it's going to be quicker to just bank and grab a little bit of food than it will be to constantly sit here and try to heal up eating bananas because it is just painful. So once you're here though, go ahead and head on down to the graveyard room. So once you get on down here, head on over to the west side. Once you're here, the food chute's going to be very close to the pile of bones, which is what you want. Right now, I'm getting rid of all of the level 1 bones in here. Essentially, every time you go over here, there will be 4 of each bone stacked up. You'll get the level 1 bones, then the level 2, then the 3, then the 4, progressively like so. What you want to do is start with the level 2 bones like I am right here. You can match that up to the numbers right there. And you also have the RuneLight plugin over here that will show you how many fruit are in your inventory based on the bone. So now that we know that these are the level 2 bones, we know that there are going to be 4 in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now there's going to be 4 level 3 bones, so I'm going to pick up those as well. And upon doing that, now I have 20 fruit in my inventory once I cast Bones to Bananas. From there, go ahead and head on over to the food chute and just toss it all in there, and then head on back. Once you're here, you'll have 4 level 4 bones in front of you and 4 level 1 bones. So go ahead and pick all of that up. So you will get miscellaneous runes here. You could stack them, like right here I have 2 graceful pieces for really no reason, it doesn't matter. You could bank those and stack runes if you'd like, or you could just go ahead and drop the runes, it really doesn't matter either way. Once you have another inventory of 20 fruit, then just go ahead and cast the spell again, head on over and toss her on down, and really then just continue that same process over and over, heading on back, grabbing all the level 2 bones, all the level 3 bones, and then casting Bones to Peaches as you head on over again. Drop them on in there and just continue to do the same thing endlessly. This room does, I would say, get a bit annoying considering it's very click intensive and you're not getting a ton of points, but at least you're constantly going up, so there's something in that regard. As you can see there, I just got the boost from the redemption prayer, so that's not too bad at all. I would definitely recommend the prayer potion option if you have it, but honestly it's that easy. There's not really too many curveballs that would be thrown your way during this room. And if you do die in there, it is a safe death if you're not a group hardcore, because group hardcores have no safe deaths, so keep that in mind. So finally, time for the Enchanter's Room. This one is pretty simple and straightforward. Essentially, you're going to want the best level of enchantment spell that you have available to you up to level 6, and personally I have level 6, so I'll be casting that. You'll need a cosmic rune per cast. In addition to that, you'll need whatever elemental runes are required for the spell. So here, personally, it is earth and fire, so I'll be bringing a lava staff. Once you have whatever staff you need, then let's go ahead and make our way on over here to the Enchanter's Teleport. Make your way on in, and then from there, you will be in a room with 4 different corners, some dragon stones that are getting pointed at, and a bonus icon down here. What does it all mean? Essentially, none of it means anything to you, really, in terms of what we're going to be doing in this room. This bonus is indicating that whenever you go over here and take from this pentamid pile, according to the colors, you'll get a bonus for enchanting those types. However, it's not worth it to run in between them for the bonus, so you don't have to worry about it at all. And then there are also dragon stones, as we saw entering in here. However, it's not worth it to go around and collect them. If you are heading over to a pile, then it's worth it to maybe grab one on your way and then continue on towards a pile, but really doesn't make that big of a difference. So make your way to one of the piles. Honestly, doesn't matter which one. I like the color blue, so I'm over here. Then from there, just take from whatever pile you are in front of until you have what is mostly a full inventory. And then once you have a full inventory, just start to hammer away at the enchantment spell. You could also go AFK and it will do the enchantment spells for you. It'll be a bit slower, however, it is AFKable, so there is that. One of my favorite aspects of this room, no doubt. Just keep on enchanting until you have an entire inventory of these white orbs. Once you have a full inventory, then go ahead and head back towards the entrance where you can deposit into this hole in the middle of the room, and you've been rewarded with an item for your services. Got some death runes along with some extra points. You can throw that on into the rune pouch if you'd like. So that's all you need to know for Mage Training Arena. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the guide. Again, if you did, make sure to leave a like. On top of that, got a friends chat you could stop by if you so desired. Small EXP lamp in-game, would love to see you there. And again, plenty of links you can check down below. But with that said, hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and peace.